Count it all joy. And I'm telling you what, when I was a kid, I used to think, what in the cat hair is James talking about? James is saying when he writes, count it all joy. What does that mean? He says, count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet various trials of various kinds. Now, I'm telling you, this is just backwards from human thinking. But when we examine what a trial is a faith exercise. Remember that, kids. A trial is a faith exercise. It is designed by God or used by God to strengthen the inner man, to strengthen our character, our personalities. So when God sends you a trial, don't reject it. Don't reject it. It's a trial. It's going to hurt. It's going to be painful. Our human side of us is going to say, remove it. The Apostle Paul says he was given a thorn in the flesh. 3 times he prayed to God to remove it. God said, my grace is sufficient for thee. Seize the opportunity. No matter what it might feel like, how miserable you might be, seize the opportunity to grow. Now, there were a few things that I disliked more as a child than spelling. Spelling is the worst subject that any student will ever have to study. And Kate will tell you to this day I cannot spell. My mother used to spend hours with me with spelling books. And I used to whine and complain. Today, I wish I had paid more attention. I would have been better off for it. I looked at that as a trial in my life, and I rejected it. Maybe we should look at trials as a free membership to the gym. I suspect none of us here are interested in a free membership to the gym. But why do people do it? People join the YMCA. People join a local fitness center because they want to improve their body. They want to improve their health. And so they pay to be miserable. That's really what it amounts to. As far as I can tell, that's what a gym membership is. It's where someone pays to sweat. To hurt. But use the trials with the purpose in mind that when it's over, you're going to be the superstar of your day. You'll have muscles where you should have muscles, and you won't have fat where you shouldn't have fat. It improves your status in life. I want to talk to you for a moment about learning to live above trials. Or maybe you might say with trials. I want to hone in on 3 words in the text. Count, actually 4, I guess. Well, 3. Depending on your translation, it will be count or consider, depending on the translation you're reading. Know and ask. 3 words. Count or consider. James says, count it all joy, my brothers. Or consider it all joy, depending on your translation. James doesn't say there is anything joyful about being beat up for Christ. He doesn't say that there's any pleasantry in having the rug pulled out from under you, so to speak, in life. But to treat it as if trials were joyful by being, get this, being satisfied. Being satisfied does not necessarily mean that we don't want the trial to end, but being satisfied is something the Christian should do in everything in life. It doesn't mean that we don't seek to improve our lives. It doesn't mean that we should, but it means that we accept what God has allowed to be in our lives, trusting God, understanding that there is good that can come out of this. Understand God has a purpose for allowing it. Just as Job had trials in his life, Job did not understand. And quite frankly, I'm not sure that we really honestly understand why God allowed Job to be tried. Not fully, not really. But we have a glimpse into the mind of God. And God allowed it to happen. God allows us. God doesn't necessarily cause us to be tried. Satan brings about the misery. But God has a way of taking what Satan does, and when we get through it, he turns it and makes it into something good. Remember that. No. The second word I want us to find is found here in the book of James. No. If you're thinking about the word no, it appears several times. Verse 3 says, "For you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness." Let's just go with that one right there. No. Knowing something means that we have an understanding of it, a knowledge of it. God doesn't always let us see things from his perspective. But here, in this text, we get a glimpse of things through God's eyes. We see the outcome. For you know the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. You mean to tell me, James, that I can't be perfect if I don't have trials? There is a concept that is found throughout the scriptures. Gold tried by fire. I want you to think about that for a moment. Where the scriptures talk about gold in the refiner's fire. Now, many years ago when I was very young, I had the opportunity to go out west to visit an aunt and uncle that I have living in Utah. And while we were there, we stopped in Colorado. If I were to move out west, Colorado might be a state that I would consider. But when we were in Colorado, we took the opportunity of touring a gold mine by the name of the Molly Kathleen Gold Mine. We got to go hundreds of feet below ground. We got to hold gold ore in our hand. And somewhere, I'm sure my mother still has my hunk of gold ore. I'm pretty sure it's worthless, because they would never let us take something back as tourists for the price that we paid if it was worth anything. But nevertheless, it looks like, for all the world, like a hunk of rock. Oh, there's a little sparkle to it, but it doesn't look anything at all like gold that we see used to make beautiful things. Or a gold coin. It looks nothing like that. It has to be refined. It has to go through a heating process in which the impurities are burned up. Trials are the burning up of our personal impurities. I found a quote from a man that I thought was really hit this on the head. Everything that I've learned in life has been learned through affliction and not through happiness. Remember, there is a difference between joy and happiness. When James says, count it all joy, he doesn't mean that we're going to wake up one morning under trials and tribulations and be like, la da 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 da. Cloud nine. James does not mean that.